Let's see here. I had to go all the way back to chat. Let me see. The judge agreed with everything Atkins said. JR said they wouldn't be able to tie Thug to renting that car if they go with what their witness said and not the white Infinity. T Dub said, why isn't Lil Rod severed from this trial about that little bit is about him? Yep, to the murder. What's up, Juice? What's up, Reign Supreme? What up, Rebecca Starr? Chaz Fogus, because the prosecution team wants to show Lil Rod next to Thug as a murderer. Ray Stars, I think Shannon definitely gets found guilty. His name comes up in everything. Yeah, it sucks for Shannon, man. All the Thug ain't have a clue about what, ain't have a clue that was about to happen. Rain said, the judge let in everything. The state hasn't proved their case. Love knows who to play with. Glanville 2.0. Love would never try to judge like Glanville. Alder said, the new judge a lot better than Glanville. Yes, damning stuff has gotten in. Damning stuff has got in, but legally the case law got in. That's different. That's kind of that. I agree with that, Alder, because this judge is actually listening to these people argue with their case law. She's not saying that they're wrong. She's saying this is a matter for you to argue when the time comes. You can make that argument, is what she's saying. But she's saying the only thing I'm discussing here is admissibility. I'm not going to exclude something because it sounds bad for your client. That's not grounds to exclude it. Evidence, according to the evidence rules, that thing is allowed to come in. So I like that the judge is not just saying no to the objection. She's explaining, according to the rules of evidence, that is admissible. You can argue it, but they need to lay a foundation and they can get that in. That makes sense. So I get that. I like that she's at least explaining. Rain said, I just think Glanville was so extreme, I've forgotten what a fair judge looks like. Black Butterfly Abasi, I think that's her name, yep. Kicking it with Courtney, the new judge is worse than Glanville is worse. Glanville was out in the open. This judge is trying to hide her alliance. Whoa, yeah. Is it Atalaya? Ward Facts. I feel like I'm watching a movie on this case, yep. Reign Supreme said, love is full of it. The defense should have pulled the judge's coattail. She said cocktail, but she mean coattail. A long time ago at this point, I just appreciate the judge being candid. Ward said, interesting. Alder said, I'll take this new judge over Glanville any day. She works off case law and love making up her own case law. Don't work like it used to. Facts. Reign Supreme said, I don't think we're going to get like any judge. I appreciate the fact that we're not going to be drugging the 2026 at this point. That's facts. Ms. Ward said, young peeps don't understand that. Too hothead. Exactly. Reign Supreme said, I'm not going to hold you. I appreciate their organization, but all they did was point out how unorganized YSL is. Yeah. Kicking it with Courtney said, y'all have a lot of faith in her. I simply don't think so. Words and actions are different. Yep. Alder, I'm a third-year law student, and I followed this case close. This new judge has not let in anything at this point that case law didn't back. Word. Okay. Beyond Me Too. Reign Supreme said, because they are all goofy. That's the only part that wasn't organized for me. But he called because his life was in jeopardy, and it all showed was that they have big homies and YSL does not. That's true, because that jail call wasn't a YSL call. He was calling G-Shine. That was the G-Shine chain of command. It was a blood set. So that didn't have nothing to do, and Shard even argued that. That didn't have anything to do with YSL. They pretty much, the state is just pretty much saying any type of crimes any of these dudes committed, it was YSL affiliated, and it just wasn't the case at all. Alder said, kicking it with Courtney. Alder, congratulations. I'm a year-long spectator. I don't like this judge. End of story. Right. Alder, I have no faith in the justice system. The judge is the least of it. Let's see. I can't stop laughing. Rogue Bonsai said, it's crazy to arrest somebody and then be used as evidence from once they were locked up, where you put them to convict them in the first thing. Ms. Ward said, guilt by association. Alder said, if this trial continue how it has, Williams will be home. Stillwell, I don't know. Hope they all come home though. Reign Supreme said, I agree. These babies need to practice some silence. Lil Mo ATL, but why do you want them to get off? You got to ask them in the comments. I didn't say I wanted anybody to do anything. A Ward, there's a way. They must find a way. Let me see. The phone recordings was hard to listen to. They were reckless with it. Yep. I feel like they deserve to get off. They'll get off. I'm just entertained how the law is applied. Yeah, it's more about following the law here. And it's really about, I was once a young, dumb youth. I mean, I was a lot younger than what they were when they was getting caught up in some of this stuff. But, I was a young, dumb youth. So I'm interested to see how if justice will be served. Like I said before, if you're going to lock somebody up, you can lock them up, but at least use due process. Don't violate their rights to lock them up. This is how cases get overturned, right? Because the state feel like they want to get a conviction by any means, when really just keep it by the books. If I really did it, just show how I did it. If you can't prove that I did it, then stop trying to lock me up. I'm about to get up out of here. Esquire said, when we heard some of the calls, I was like, the state looks stupid for placing so much stock in Woody. Facts. You got to think about it. You know how much better the state's case looks if they did not deal with all of this Woody debacle? If they just didn't, let's just say we're going to do this whole, we'll do the whole Donovan Thomas murder and just not add Woody in there. We'll just show Yak Gotti walked into the gas station. We'll say, oh, this person was on the phone saying that they was with this person and this other person said they was with this person. They could have done that, left out Woody, and they would have had a better chance. But with them adding Woody in the middle of this, or Woody in the middle of this, they messed up their own situation with that. I don't understand that. Reign Supreme said, based on the evidence and the witnesses and the state on the volition, Jeffrey is the only one going home. Let's see. Alder said, Woody killed Nut, I feel, but I don't know. Reign Supreme said he definitely wasn't informant. Ray said that's exactly correct. Thug has a chance, but the rest of them is not looking good for. Reign said Mr. Harvey stopped her because she was making points that things actually happened. She was trying to verify and testify right then, and he interrupted her. Tamika B said, right, I said the same thing. Esquire said these calls were way worse than Woody's interviews. Facts. Kicking it with Courtney. Chardon Stillwell definitely in a fight for his life because it looks bad, y'all. Young said, hello, everyone. Reign Supreme said, what's going on, Young? Reign Supreme said, the judge is asking for case law at this point and no one can give it to her. Case law is everything in the trial. Still is lethal with the case law. Ms. Ward said, feed us law, Brian. I love it. That's facts. Brian still come with the cases, man. He don't play around. He's the appeal king. He wanted the appeals king around his mug. Supreme Court kings. Alder, you can't say Woody killed Nut because you feel, Young said, this is really bad week for YSL. Reign Supreme said, hey, so with the RICO, Thug can be acquitted and the rest someone else found guilty. Well, let's look at it. If the jury finds that Thug was YSL the label, but not YSL the street gang, which I don't know how they would do that, but that could happen. They could say, no, Thug wasn't part of the street gang YSL. Because if you think about it, all of these criminal acts that they keep bringing up, Thug wasn't around for him. He wasn't there. He wasn't at the scenes. He wasn't none of them, except for the one when they're going to say that Thug and Gunna got pulled over with guns and drugs in the car. Other than that, and you can't say that that was like a couple years ago. That wasn't even back when these murders and stuff. So Thug could technically be found not guilty of that part and then found not guilty of the rest of them too. But it's just unlikely when they have been saying this whole time that Thug, DK, and Trontavia Stevens are the founders of YSL, and that happened before Thug got famous. So it's going to be hard, but it's possible, though, for sure. And also, Trontavia Stevens and Walter Murphy also took plea deals agreeing to all of the stuff that the state said. So it's going to be tough for Thug to beat that one, but it's possible. Alder said, I can say whatever I want. That don't make it true. Don't make it false. But if you think I'm the only one following the case that don't feel the same, you're wrong. Vanderveer said, I think the defense has a lot of things the state don't have. Even Paul Howard has been speaking out. They talk about Paul Howard specifically declining, and they say Paul Howard had all of this information years ago. He specifically said, I don't want to take this case because I don't want to prosecute this case because the main person that they need is Woody, and they know that he's not trustworthy. Like I told plenty of people before, and everybody knows this, people are not finding out. People in Fulton County District Attorney's Office and the police are not just finding out right now that Woody is a liar. They have known this for years. They had actually have known this since the Donovan Thomas murder and probably before that. They knew it then. So it's not new to anybody down here. Miss Ward said, not in jail asking to kill. Wow, this is a movie. Is this our world now? Yeah, it's crazy. Shannon been getting stabbed and attacked as well. Yeah. Remember back in December, they actually had to put the trial on hold because Shannon had to recover from getting stabbed. So, they're not playing. This is not a fake beef. Like these people play, it's serious. And think about this. Think about how crazy it is. The two supposed gangs that are being claimed to be rivals of each other, got their RICO cases a year apart and are in the jail at the same time. The jails is probably more violent than ever right now in Fulton County because some of the two biggest gangs backed by millionaires are all locked up together right now. Y'all think about that? And they all supposedly real gang members. Alder said the RICO either exists or didn't. That's the biggest problem for Thug. GA state RICO is different than federal, but from how I read, seeing the label, Thug a leader, if the RICO sticks, he's attached. Yep. Miss Ward said, very dangerous lifestyle, kicking him, Courtney. Okay, thanks for the clarification. Alder. Reign Supreme said Mr. Harvey was pissed because Miss Love was saying out of her own mouth that certain things were verified and actual fact. He objected. Yep. Alder, maybe I do your research and study Woody properly and fully. Miss Ward says she called him so many times. What does it say? Ine? N-A? Knia? What's going on? I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. You got to give me the enunciation, the breakdown. Michelle Jensen said, if you did your research properly, y'all getting at each other. Kicking it with Courtney said, Harvey said, hold up. Yeah, he said, hold up a bunch of times. He was up. He wasn't playing. Oh, my God. Vanderveer, although it sound bad, one of them had to survive. The state knew the two groups were at war and they put them in jail at the same time. Facts, Vanderveer, that part. Juice said the judge doesn't hold anybody accountable like she proposed in the beginning. Yeah, they just let them do anything up in there. Harvey was in the right because Love was asserting things as fact that she has no evidence for. Just because it's said on the cell, she needs evidence to support her interpretation, so he got mad. True. Tamika, that's why I think Whitaker asked Shart if he wanted her to go back and reduce on the stuff in the jail calls, and Shart was like, no, I don't agree with Harvey. Facts. Vanderveer, Lucci and his crew on camera committing crimes and they about to come home because they took plea deals. That's why they're coming home. Esquire, and you got to think about it. Lucci is a big rapper too, right? Fulton County wanted Young Thug, flat out. They wanted Young Thug. They seen YSL and YSL Associates as complete demons around here. And yes, there's killers on both sides. Yes, there's people being accused of some heinous acts on both sides, but they wanted Young Thug. They felt like Young Thug was getting way too big, way too powerful, and with impunity. They felt like if they don't get Young Thug now and he gets away, that it could get worse, or they have missed their opportunity to get who they think is one of the biggest causes for a lot of the killings and the crime happening in Atlanta. So y'all got to understand that even though the F gang guys and the YFN people were supposed to be like that too, they really wanted the YSL. They wanted Young Thug and they wanted his guys. So keep that in mind. That's why that's why Lucci, they was able to just, even though the leader of that was able to get a deal and get up out of there, no problem, like a couple years. You got to think about it. They want Young Thug, flat out. I seen that too. He's up for parole, start 2025. Rain said, I'm cooking, but I'm here, so keep going, frying up the shrimp. My bad for this typo. Vanderveer said, Courtney, exactly, and the other gang is still messing with YSL online. Mikey B said, I think they need to end this. Separate the charges or dismiss. This judge is the same as Glanville. The DA are setting the story as they go. Yep, Mikey B, the fact the FBI passed on this case means a lot. Cali Dream 69, the real question is why the defense is not calling this judge out for helping the state when Love can't get state case law. Huh? Yeah. Vanderveer, the state told the man with half a head he was coming to court for justice, knowing they been closed that case. That's the messed up part. Facts. They convicted somebody already of that. DK and them went to prison for that. Demise McMullen, everybody in that car went to jail for that. Alder said, I watched the interview Ashley Merchant did a couple of days ago. She said Howard didn't go after the case because Woody was all they had. Oh, yeah. Remember, y'all told me last week to watch that Ashley Merchant interview with Professor Nez, I think his name is. And I did watch it. I ended up watching it like on Saturday afternoon. That was a very good interview. I think Ashley Merchant is sharp. I think she clearly has been paying attention to this trial. So she knew what was going on. And she know, like, because she said she used to work as a public defender. So she been in defense her whole time. And she was saying that Fulton County is notoriously terrible when it comes to how they deal with their courts. And there's a lot of injustice going on in their courts. So She said they pretty much are going after like these cases that will make the name for the DA instead of going after the cases that the people really care about, which is a lot of the break-ins and a lot of the sexual crimes. So they say that a lot of that stuff is just sitting unprosecuted. Aldous said, I watched, okay, just read that. Reign Supreme said, I mean, the state is not coming with any case law. We had an entire week. Yeah. And didn't have but a few laws they were able to quote. No real case law and all hearsay. Kicking and recording, I think the defense is drained and tired. This is a case of endurance, child. Only the strong survive. Facts. JR said, isn't the jury making a verdict on each count? For instance, if they find a guilty verdict on a specific count, whoever has that count will be guilty. Yes, I think they have to do that for each defendant, not just say this count. They got to say this count for this person, I think. I'm pretty sure. Because sometimes they might think, they might think one person did it and the other person didn't do it. But how are they going to keep track of this many counts for this many people over a 2-year trial or over even a 1-year trial, whatever it is? They're not going to remember anything. They're just going to go with the flow. They're going to fill it out like a Scantron test. It's just going to be like, you know what I'm saying? They're going to go back and forth. They don't remember none of that. Reign Supreme said it was unlikely before they played that G-Shine tape. Once they played that tape, that proved he is not depending on YSL. That means they're not as big as the state wants them to be. Facts. JR, I thought Love argued that last week. We're going to get into it, man. Trust me. All right, my thing just jumped forward. Okay. Do you know how they had an actual footage of guys hiding, whispering in the cut and other events? Who provided that recording? Woody? No, that was Lil D's phone. They had some of them guys' phones tapped. That's a setup, and the Georgia taxpayers are paying for it. Yep. I've been watching all court cases since the OJ case, and the one thing I learned is you are guilty until proven innocent. Facts, if you're black. The 87 Barber salute, the regular podcast, hit the like button. Appreciate y'all. Please hit that like button. Tamika B. But the RICO in Georgia allows everything to be entered, including intrinsic, hearsay, and also social media from any account or person at the family reunion. Yep. All the. In a live I heard today, Thug was told for a huge amount of money the state will make this go away, but I don't know how true that is. That's not true. Esquire said, Young Thug gonna be even more powerful if he get off, so the state better hope he don't. Vanderveer, I understand that If Gang, but it show. I understand that about If Gang, but it show the world it's not about justice. Yep. They got till January. The plea deal is gonna be over. Mikey B, the judge got a whole Love hand because she's not too experienced, I assume. No, Love has a lot of experience. That's why they think, you got to think about it. Love was a judge. Love was a judge in Middle Georgia court, right? Middle Georgia, the court in Middle Georgia, they deal with a lot of counties. So she had a lot of experience. And she was an attorney. She's been a prosecutor in Fulton County for some years. This is why they keep on accusing Love of doing things on purpose, because they like, this lady is too seasoned. She has too much experience to be making mistakes. She's not making these types of mistakes. Like, everybody makes mistakes, but they're saying that the type of mistakes Love is making is the type of stuff that's not a mistake. She's doing it on purpose because she has too much information, too much knowledge, too much experience to make the type of errors that she's making. So that's what they're trying to say. I wonder if they added Shannon Stabbing to the other gang. Ain't no telling. The other gang was pretty much already played out by then. I hope on the stand somebody asked Woody if Fonnie was in a relationship with Nutter Mondo. That's crazy. Mikey B. So listen, y'all, DJ Swift is in Middle Georgia. Okay. Listen, we have to get into something real quick. I just spent a long time reading them comments, but we had to get to the good people. Okay, now, this is a long video, but it's something that we got to listen to because this is important. And we about to talk about why, because I think Woody was actually set up. I think Woody was set up to be, whether he liked it or not, he was going to be used to help convict these other guys. So they might have had that immunity order in their back pocket this entire time. I'm honestly thinking about it. They might have had that in their back pocket the entire time. I want y'all to hear something real quick. Hold up. And this is where I told y'all we're going to go back to last week. Last week they had an argument where Brian Steele was pretty much saying, I'm from Ohio originally, but I live in Atlanta. Mikey B. I live in Atlanta now. I'm in Fulton County. I'm a Fulton County taxpayer and voter. So when I talk about this stuff, I'm talking from a person that's taxpayer invested. All right. So where you from, Mikey B? Where y'all from? Yeah. No. Love is not dumb at all. That's why they keep accusing her of doing this stuff maliciously. She's not dumb at all.